Hello everyone and welcome to County Perspective. This show focuses on Frederick County government, local programs and events, and the Frederick County community. I'm your host Brandon Rosa. Thank you for joining me. We have a lot to talk about in this episode of County Perspective, so let's start the show with our top news stories. In this episode, we begin with the Black History Month celebration event that took place on Monday, February 5th. Winchester Hall recently hosted the annual Black History Month celebration highlighting Frederick's rich cultural tapestry. Under the theme, Etched in History, the event marked the 60th anniversary of the signing of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Attendees enjoyed music, spoken words, drum performances, and presentations honoring Black heritage.
So this being the second annual event, I think speaks exactly to that, right? I love that Frederick as a community is really doing its best to showcase the talent that we have in the Black community, to really speak through the history that we're continuing to make within the community. So it's really awesome to be a part of an event like this that continues to showcase the many strides that Frederick is making as a county.
It's beautiful to see the growth in just 1 year. This being the second year, and it's this much exponential growth is huge. Shout out Chloe Scott. Shout out Chloe for doing her thing, setting this up. She definitely was on point with everything. So yeah, it's wonderful.
We have 2 advisors, Adrienne Lee and myself, and 2 amazing coaches. Everybody volunteers their times. They have been helping with our amazing captains to choreograph a performance that was powerful, that showcased both the voices and the steps so that the girls could show how proud they are of who they are, how proud they are of where they've come and where they intend to go.
We've mostly done like multicultural nights at Linganore, and we've just now recently gone into basketball games. This is our first bigger performance, and I think we're really excited.
The celebration not only commemorated the past, but also sparked conversations on present achievements and future strides toward equity. February is not only Black History Month, it is also Heart Health Month. Frederick County launched a spirited campaign, #HeartHealthyFC, to raise awareness of ways to stay heart healthy throughout February. Led by County Executive Jessica Fitzwater, the initiative rallies government agencies and partners to combat heart disease, the nation's top killer. Events include hands-only CPR classes, We Heart Story Time with 911 staff, Veg It Up, cooking classes, and a mental health and heart health session. For details, visit frederickcountymd.gov/hearthealthyfc. Stay tuned for heart healthy tips later in the show. Let's unite in red and prioritize heart health. One of the most important roles of the county executive is to submit a balanced budget each year. County Executive Jessica Fitzwater is preparing her fiscal year 2025 budget now, but she's not doing it alone. She recently held listening sessions in each of the 5 council districts to hear what residents want funded. She also drew insights from December's public hearing. Another public hearing is slated for March 20th. Fitzwater must release her proposed budget by April 15th, ensuring transparency and responsiveness to the community's priorities. Stay tuned for updates on the budget and visit frederickcountymd.gov/budget for more information. Moments ago, we talked about the Heart Healthy campaign that recently launched for Heart Health Month. FCG-TV was able to speak with nurse practitioner Michael Marchone with the Frederick Health Hospital to learn some tips on how to keep your heart healthy. Let's hear what he had to say.
My name is Michael Marchone, and I'm a nurse practitioner at Frederick Health Hospital. I'm here to talk about some tips to keep your heart healthy. Signs and symptoms of a heart attack can be very difficult to recognize sometimes. So here's some of the ones that you should look out for. The obvious one is chest pain. That can be sometimes felt as epigastric pain or pain that feels like reflux, pain that goes to your jaw or your neck. Sometimes this pain can go down your shoulder to your arm. Also, sometimes patients have shortness of breath or pain in their back. So it can be really difficult to distinguish between what is normal and what can actually be a sign of a heart attack. So if you're experiencing these symptoms after you've walked up a flight of stairs, that is concerning. If you're having pain that lasts for a few seconds and goes away, that's usually not anything to be too concerned about. But if you're having pain that's lasting for more than 5 minutes, that is usually a time that you should start to consider that this is something that's not normal for you, and maybe you should reach out to your healthcare professional to let them know about your symptoms. Or if you're having symptoms that are really concerning and intense, then I recommend that you call 911 so you can be evaluated right away. Having a heart-healthy diet can be a challenge for some of us, especially in our busy lives. So eating a balanced diet that is something along the lines of a Mediterranean diet is one of my favorite things to recommend to patients. So eating chicken, fish, baked, broiled, and grilled, and trying to reduce the amount of fried, greasy things that we eat is the most heart-healthy option. Some patients even go as far as to have a plant-based diet, because a lot of the studies these days continue to show that a plant-based diet is the most heart-healthy diet on the market at this point. Tobacco use and vaping can have negative effects on our heart, and you may not feel them now, but they, over time, these will have a permanent effect on our heart and lungs. So I recommend that if you smoke, chew, or vape, that you should seriously consider finding a method that works for you so that you can quit. There's many methods out there on the market that work, and each individual has to find one that works best for them. There are medicines, chewing gum, patches. So if you have finally gotten to the point where you're ready to quit, I recommend that you reach out to your healthcare provider and see about the different options that might work for you. It's also important that we follow up with our healthcare providers about monitoring our blood pressure, the management of our cholesterol and blood sugar. These are all things that we often don't feel. You know, we don't feel when our blood pressure is high, we don't feel when our blood sugar is high, or if our cholesterol is not well managed. But these are things that can have a long-term lasting impact on our heart if we don't keep them monitored. So it's important that you follow up with your healthcare provider regularly so that they can run tests and monitor your blood pressure and make recommendations and possibly even start you on medications if these things can't be managed without medication. These are stressful times for all of us, so it's important that we find healthy ways to manage our stress. This is different for each one of us. We have to find a stress management routine that works well for each of us individually. So if you like to go for a walk, exercise, talk to friends, hang out with your pet, you have to find a way that's gonna help you manage your stress best. So find that thing that you enjoy doing, and that is how you're gonna manage your stress best. The most important commodity in life is time. We don't have enough of it. So I recommend that you take care of yourself now so that you can have the longest life possible to spend with your loved ones.
It's time for a quick break, but don't change the channel because we still have much more to cover in this episode of County Perspective. See you in a couple minutes. Welcome back to County Perspective. I'm your host, Brandon Rosa. In just a few minutes, we'll learn more about school resource officers in Frederick County. But before we hear from deputies from the Frederick County Sheriff's Office, let's take a trip to Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center to see who our cute Pet of the Week is this time.
Johnny Blaze is a fun-loving and friendly guy. The Terrier mix spent some time in a foster home during the holidays where we learned he's excellent at navigating life in a multi-dog household, has no issues with being crated, and is a massive cuddler. To learn more about Johnny Blaze and our adoption process, call Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center at 301-600-1546.
When you drive by one of Frederick County Public Schools and see a marked Frederick County Sheriff's Office cruiser parked near the school entrance, don't be alarmed. Everything is okay. There is a deputy inside the school protecting the students. These deputies are known as SROs, or School Resource Officers. I was able to speak with 2 school resource officers the other day. Let's hear what they had to say. The Frederick County Sheriff's Office is integrity-driven and community-built. One of the most important duties of protecting the community is ensuring that the youth are in good hands. The Frederick County Sheriff's Office has school resource officers stationed at several schools throughout the county to protect more than 47,000 students enrolled in Frederick County Public Schools.
The Sheriff's Office SRO program started in 2000. At the time, the Sheriff's Office got a U.S. Department of Justice grant to hire 11 additional deputies to work as school resource officers. And at that time, our SROs actually were assigned to Frederick County Public Schools middle schools. And over the years, we've changed and adapted after evaluating the program, and now all of our SROs are assigned to the high schools, and they'll respond out to their associated feeder pattern schools. So the Sheriff's Office SRO program is comprised of 16 deputies. That includes 1 sergeant, 2 corporals, and 13 deputies. And together as a unit, we're responsible for 51 public schools within FCPS.
School resource officers perform several duties to ensure security among the students.
So typically I get here around 6:30, 6:45 in the morning. I can greet the students that way they can see that I'm here. I can greet the staff as they come in as well. I tend to go to where the larger population of the students are, which is the cafeteria here at Middletown High School, before they can go to class. After they're in classes, I do what I call a security check. I go around and check the exterior doors, make sure they're secure, go in and out of the bathrooms, make sure everything's fine there. And then after that, we have the middle school arrival. I go down there for their arrival, and then we have elementary. And then I come back, and by that time, it's lunchtime. The largest population of the school is in the cafeteria. I go there and I stand in the cafeteria talking to students.
When a student sees their school resource officer, they feel a sense of safety. And if they had any thoughts of doing something against school rules, well, they certainly think twice.
I feel that the students feel more secure with SROs in the building. Absolutely. I think the parents appreciate the SROs being in the building for their kids' safety.
When you walk into the school and a student walks by a marked police car sitting out front, and they see their SRO greeting them as they walk into the school or standing in the cafeteria for lunch, you probably think twice about making some poor decisions. I want our SROs to be problem solvers. And if we can come up with alternative solutions while working collaboratively with administration to solve the problem that doesn't include an arrest, that's great.
Over the years, students build relationships with their school resource officers.
We're not just a law enforcement officer inside of a building. We become counselors, we become mentors to a lot of the students. As far as the staff is concerned, if you're at a school for several years, they become family. I look at a school as a small community. I look at this job as not just to enforce laws, but to really mentor the next generation. I have students who come up to me later on in years. I might not remember their names because I've dealt with thousands of students over the years, but I remember faces. And they'll come up to me and say, "Were you my SRO?" And I tell them I was, and they'll say, "Hey, I appreciate you always being a listening ear." They give back to me as well. It's a thank you that a lot of times you don't get in law enforcement.
The School Resource Officer program has been around for more than 2 decades and will continue to expand with the growing population of students in Frederick County.
I think our SROs have done a lot of really good work over the past couple years to improve the safety and security of all of our students across Frederick County. And I live in Frederick County, my kids are going to go to Frederick County Public Schools, and I'm really proud of the work that we've done to create a safe and secure learning environment for all of our students.
It is time in the show to find out what activities Frederick County divisions and departments are hosting in the next few weeks in this episode's calendar of events. To find out more about future virtual events, activities, and programs, just visit frederickcountymd.gov. Now it is almost time to wrap up this episode of County Perspective, but before we go, I want to talk about the overdose response training and tax credits. Do you want to do your part as a good Samaritan and learn how to save someone's life? There are many people in our community who are battling addiction to opioids. If you find someone who is suffering from an overdose, what would you do? If you want to learn how to save the life of someone who is overdosing, then sign up to participate in the overdose training and naloxone distribution event hosted by the Frederick County Health Department. The event is on Friday, February 23rd from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the Frederick County Health Department. When arriving at the Health Department, make sure to use entrance C. This event is free. If you can't make it to the event in person, you can participate virtually via Microsoft Teams by visiting health.frederickcountymd.gov/ORT-Friday. If you would like more information, just visit frederickcountymd.gov/BHS. It is officially tax season, and Frederick County government has a variety of tax credits to offer, especially for our senior citizens. Veterans and uniformed service members are eligible for tax credits as well. To see the list of tax credits that you may be eligible for, just visit frederickcountymd.gov/8277. Well, everyone, that is all the time we have left in this episode of County Perspective. Now remember, if you want to stay up to date on important news and events going on in the county, just follow Frederick County on social media. We'll see you next time with a fresh look from a county perspective. Take care, everyone.